Am I the only one who sees these as racial riots? I mean, maybe because I'm here in Detroit, but comparable to America that happened, somewhat in the 20s, but
which riots are you talking about? 60s. Which riots are you talking about? The ones in France now?
The ones going on right now. I mean, I would think that Western media is getting involved and stirring things up because it seems like it kind of tracks like an American BLM type protest in some ways, but it's obviously going to have the difference because it's in France. But I'm just wondering if there's Western influence in there stirring shit up.
Well, BLM is a more modern day. I'm not comparing it to what happened in the U.S. in the 60s.
David, but it's a youth problem. It is a social class problem, and it is also an ethnic problem. But it's not a race riot. And by the way, not Africans are not so different from the Europeans. They are just a little bit more tanned. So they would
hold on. Look at Moroccan, Portuguese, and Spanish. They are the same.
They look the same. So it's like for
Spanish,
many
Portuguese, and Moroccan.
And southern, people. Not Moroccans, but Algerians mainly, and also southern France people. They're also quite tanned. It's a very hot place. It's the Mediterranean. They are Mediterranean peoples.
Italian?
Yes, Italy as well. So you see them as racial because you want to see it racial. Why don't you just call it what it is? It's ethnic. It's Algerians. Okay, it's whatever, but they're not a race.
I tell you the funny thing.
So please.
Ethnic is the same, but I mean, like,
how far is Portugal to Morocco?
In Asia, in Asia, when we look at like Zidane and everything, they are all white to us. They are all white.
Yeah,
everyone is just white
because they play for France.
You cannot tell the difference.
Yeah, but
I was surprised when I first know that Zidane is actually like Algerian descent. I was like, what? He looked white to me, So
there are many Algerians with blue eyes. Come on, there are many Algerians with blue eyes. Especially in the Atlas Mountains.
When I look at Dan Castle,
go to Brazil, you're gonna find the Indians.
Whoa, it's like it's all this racial ethnic division is all created by
our perception.
It's within the media. No, I think it's mainly media, mainly the politics. Otherwise, if you don't talk about it, nobody understands. When you look at Dan, in which world he looked Mexican, I do not know. I can't tell how is he Mexican. He looks just like
if you want to talk about the world, stop and look at Mr. Lambo, look at Prata and David, who looks white. Europeans are supposed to be white.
Yeah,
David is whiter than these two.
White means something in America because it groups together all different types of people, from Arabs to
but you were being racist, David. I'm sorry, you were being very racist.
It's kind of tedious to talk about
you can't talk about this without talking about race. And you say, like, in America, so to say, the blacks won the urban.
But why do you want Europe to be a mirror of the problems of the social thinking of the United States?
Who says it's
I'm not giving a moral. I'm not putting any morals or ethnics. I just say people operate.
Bobby, what were you saying? I didn't understand.
I'm saying, like, it's a little bit tedious to just like be a mirror and reflect the corporate media. The corporate media will allow you to describe the world in terms of race. They will allow you to describe the world in terms of climate change and in terms of the global homo LGBT problems in the world, right? But once you start talking about how much of your tax revenue is being used to pay interest on debts to bankers, right, due to COVID, that's it. You can't talk about that. In fact, like, none of you even know. And this is, with all due respect, you're all intelligent, but none of you know what percentage of your government's income in tax revenue that comes out of your family's wages is being used to pay interest on a debt. None of you know for how many decades that debt is going to be around. It's kind of tedious to be a mirror for the corporate media, right? And to some extent, you have to stop and ask yourself, is it real?
None of us know.
So I'll ask you, how many people have you met? Let me finish. How many people have you met in the last 24 hours who are racist, right? We see it in the movies. We see it everywhere in the media. Apparently there is a plague of racism getting around. But the reality is, if you're openly racist, right, everybody looks down on you. And so out of pure fear, it's not because of good morality that people aren't racist. People aren't actually racist because to do so would be to destroy yourself. Nevertheless, we are told we live in this really racist world. You know, it's kind of funny. No one follows the money anymore. We follow these red herrings. We follow
funny
these
about
things
being
that
racist.
divide us all, right? We talk about the nationalism, the racism, the sexism, the da-da-da-da-da. But it's all smoke and mirrors. The reality is that you are going to get social insurrection. You're going to get violence when people can't eat. You're going to get violence in every society when people start going hungry. That's when you start seeing the tribalism and the segregation.
Are people going hungry right now? Are people going hungry right now? Is that what we're seeing right now?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
No, it's not. It's not
People
what we're
are
seeing.
choosing between, in the UK and in France, people are choosing between power bills and food. Right? And for the first time in 4 generations.
They're 100% not doing that in France. You're wrong about that.
Yes.
They're 100% not doing that.
But Toby is Toby.
I know this because
you're not gonna see that thing in the UK.
Like
he was being euphemistic.